Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone had a great week. It's Bobbie and Joy's kind of off to the side back here.
Hi. Yeah, I wanted to kind of throw out there, it's April 20th. Yesterday we were in short sleeves and 70 degrees, and today it was snow. So here we are back in sweatshirts.
Snowing to the point where we had a hard time seeing getting here.
Big flakes.
Yes.
Big flakes.
It was crazy. On top of that, as always, we want you to post where you're watching from. We love to see where you're watching from. And last week, Joy, do you remember where that was from?
Brazil.
Brazil. We had someone from Brazil watching. We were so excited about that. Again, like and follow us. We have a goal of 70,000 followers to get to by the end of this year. And we're really hoping you can help us do that. Now I just want to introduce you to Pat. This is Pat Daley.
And I'm going to jump in here. Pat has been one of our long-time loyal people for years and years and years. And Pat was very instrumental in putting together a kit that we could actually sell to people. So this is a super, super important factor. And I'm going to throw out there right at the beginning, be sure to have your veterinarian's information and contact and an emergency place too, right available to you, because that's one of your primary things. But there's such a thing as making sure that this is what you need to do, and preliminary steps before you might get them, because you might have to stabilize your bunny before they get to the vet. So have at it.
Okay, this is Pat Daley. She has, like Joy said, she has been a part of the House Rabbit Society since 20, I'm 20 years, so
20
Pat has to be
years.
21 years. And she's great, and a lot of you know her already. But tonight she's gonna show us something extremely important that you guys need to know, and that's if you have an emergency with your bunny, what are you gonna do? The vet's closed, it's late at night, it's on the weekend, you're not really sure what's wrong with the bunny. So Pat has put together this great emergency kit, and it is basically what to do if you have a bunny emergency. So I'm gonna start letting her take over and start showing you and telling you what she's got.
Hi, everybody. So this is my bunny Nora here. And Nora is like your bunny, I am so sure, because if I offer Nora a treat, Nora never turns it down.
I'm gonna push
Nora,
this
this
down
is
just a tad.
This is a bunny cookie.
There you go. Let me a little lower.
A lower?
A little lower.
A little lower so you can see little Nora.
Well,
Nora's,
you can see-
there
you can
she
see the
is.
table, yes.
Nora's
There
a
we
little
go.
Rex. So Nora is like every other bunny I know. You offer a bunny something to eat and they don't turn it down. So Bill and I have had bunnies for 20 years in our house, and the thing we most worry about, the most common health risk that we encounter is a bunny that is not eating. Because that means the bunny could just have a little upset tummy. Maybe the bunny ate something that didn't agree with him. I think once I gave one of my bunnies too much parsley and it gave her a little tummy upset. And what happens is it becomes an emergency. They have a tummy upset, and the big clue they give us is they'll turn down food. And that's a big clue. So at our house, we have a procedure where Bill is the morning person. So he's up early and he'll cut the banana in thin slices, and then he'll cut a slice in half. And he goes around to each bunny and he offers them the half a slice of banana. And Nora is up in her cage and she wants it. Every bunny that we have loves banana, so that's why we do the banana. So Nora's up up her little white belly because she wants her banana. So everybody takes their banana. He hands it out like Holy Communion. Everybody takes a banana. Now, if, let's say, Nora doesn't take her banana, then Bill is getting me out of bed because I'm the one that does the emergency protocol. And this is something that you just have to be aware of. So that's why we have this procedure where he gives the treat in the morning, and then when I go home this evening, I will do the same thing, offer every bunny a treat. I vary it every night. A lot of times I will just give oats. Oats is a fine thing to give. I'll take a measuring spoon and I'll measure out 1 teaspoon for each bunny. And they all love oats. So if they don't want the oats, that again is my clue. They have an upset tummy.
And Pat, that is why you tell everyone to give them a special treat in the morning and a special treat in the evening, because if they don't eat that treat, that's your first sign that you got a bunny emergency.
Well, we tell everybody it's just like children. If they turn up their nose at dessert, there's a problem.
True,
Yes.
true.
Yes.
So of course they're getting their pellets and their salad, and you could watch, you could hand out your salad and watch to make sure they eat it. But I just think it's more obvious if we do the treat, and it's little, I give it out. That's what we do. And frankly, it is not uncommon for a bunny to turn down their treat. It is not uncommon for a bunny to have an upset tummy. So it is a common thing that you need to be prepared for. And the thing about it is a true emergency. Because if a bunny has a tummy trouble, it's not like me the other night. I went to bed, I had a tummy upset going to bed because I think I had overate. Let's just put it that way. I overate and I went to bed and I was uncomfortable. Did I take anything? No. In the morning, I felt better. That does not work with bunnies.
And can we add, a bunny cannot burp.
Good point.
So if they're gassy or whatever, they can't burp to get
Or
anything
vomit.
up, and they cannot vomit. So that's part of the issue they have.
They cannot tell you, since they can't vocally tell you that, you have to watch out for those clues. Now, the one clue Pat was telling you about, the bunny sitting there and turning out its nose up at a treat. Because you could wait forever for them, to decide, oh, I'm hungry enough to go eat something. But if you're wanting to make sure that they're eating, yeah, you give them that little treat, because that's where they're gonna get all excited about. And it's just a matter of, so I lost my train of thought here, is what I was gonna try
You're trying to say like other things they can keep
the
an eye
other
on.
things to keep an eye, right, thank
Yeah.
you. If they are scrunched up, okay, and they don't wanna move, that can be a sign that, they're hurt, because think about it, if you're hurt, you do the same thing, you kind of just, you don't wanna move. If they have their back to you into a corner, quite often that means they're not wanting to interact because they don't feel good, So you have to really know your bunny's behavior and what they're normally like, so you can also catch those instances where, ooh, this isn't right. Now, if you hear loud gurgling, that's a sign of major gas. And something that we can talk about a little bit later after the kit is about a stethoscope as well. So you've got that particular thing. If they are grinding their teeth, and not the little thing called the tooth purr, now they're in pain. And now you really do know you've got an emergency. So back to the emergency kit.
So as I said, if Nora turns down her food or treat, Bill's getting me going because I will do the emergency kit, and I will bring out this emergency kit, which we sell here in the shelter. And
And what do we sell it for at the shelter?
$23. And
Which is a steal because you're getting everything you need in one kit.
Yep. Now you have a choice. When your bunny doesn't take the treat, you've got a choice to make. You can either call your vet and make an appointment, emergency appointment, and take your bunny right to the vet. Or you can do the emergency protocol and wait 2 hours. By then your bunny should be munching. And oftentimes, honestly, with the emergency protocol, the bunnies react and my bunnies start munching in an hour or 2.
If that's what it is.
Right.
Yes. Now, Joy had mentioned something interesting. If, you take your bunny and you feel your bunny, and your bunny's stomach is as hard as a rock, Joy suggested that you get your bunny to the vet right away. Don't bother with the emergency protocol because
Correct.
it will not help, but get your bunny to the emergency vet right away. And why is that, Joy?
If it is really,
Probably.
really hard up here, it's likely to be a real blockage. So where the stomach empties, I should say, into the intestinal tract is like a 90-degree angle. So it's real easy for something to get stuck at that 90-degree angle. And if it does, the stomach is now not going to be able to empty into the intestinal tract, and it's going to just, like I said, be hard as a rock. So you're not putting anything else in there isn't going to solve the problem at all, okay? Generally speaking, it's because the bunny has a little bit of gas somewhere in its tract, and that's what we're trying to, help. If we've got, an upset stomach, there's stuff that we take for it, and bunnies just can't give it to themselves. So that's where the protocol really can come into play. And we're going to be talking about a variety of things for protocol too.
Yeah.
So the first thing, typically when your bunny doesn't eat, bad things are happening. The bunny generally is losing body heat. And this will lead to death because the bunny will go into shock and die. So typically, if you can take the bunny's temperature, that is really great. Most people cannot, and most people are afraid to do it. But, so you don't have to be able to take your bunny's temperature.
But just so you know, in the future, we will be showing you how to take your bunny's temperature. And that is included in your kit.
Yes, it is.
So
It's a good thing because very often with my bunnies, I'll take the temperature and it may be 97 when a bunny's normal temperature is 101 to 103. I'll get 97. I've even gotten lower. That just alerts me how bad the situation is, and which is nice to know. But if you can't take the bunny temperature, do not worry, because we're just going to go right ahead and we're going to put your bunny on a heating pad. And we're going to assume that the bunny's temperature is dropping and the bunny is going to need that heat.
And I'm going to throw one other thing out here. If that bunny wants nothing to do with being on that heating pad, then his temperature probably is not low. But if he's if he's staying there, then there's your really big clue that temp probably is too low. And that means your bunny can be sliding into shock and you need to be doing something, getting him stabilized.
So I've already had bunnies stay on the heating pad for 45 minutes before until they felt comfortable. Other times I put the bunny on the heating pad and they want it off.
So if they don't have a heating pad, what other options do you give them?
Well, you could heat towels in your dryer and put the towels around your bunny.
As long as they're not too hot.
Yeah, warm towels in a pinch, that will do.
I think also they sell heating pods on Amazon I can't remember how much they are, but I have a heating pod that has no wiring. You put in the microwave,
It's true.
and you can actually leave that in the pen with them, so they have the option to get off and on when they need it. So there's other options out there, but I also have a heating pad that I use right away.
On
And
low.
the person,
On low, yes.
and the person may have a flaxseed bag because some people enjoy that just for themselves.
Right,
So
round your
something,
neck, back.
any heat source. And their skin is delicate, so I'll put mine on lower or maybe medium, depending on the heating pad. So if the bunny wants off, let the bunny get off. So we're gonna warm the bunny up. It's also good that the bunny is of a good temperature so that they can swallow the drugs that we're gonna give them.
I have a question on what kind of thermometer we use. And this is a flex tip for baby's comfort. It's a 10-second thermometer. You want the fastest,
Read.
yes, the fastest read. So this is the one that we put in the kit, which I can hold up there for you guys to see it. I want to give a shout out to my grandson Hunter, who is watching us tonight. Hi Hunter, I'm so happy you're watching.
So the other, you really don't need much to get you through this. You don't have to be able to take the temperature, but you'll need this. This is infant gas drops. Now, if you go to Walgreens, you're gonna see in the child area, you're gonna see several brands of infant gas drops. All of them are simethicone.
Yeah,
They're all simethicone.
you don't need the name brand.
Nope, you do not need to spend $11 when you can get this at Walmart for $3.50, because it's all the same thing. So here it is, and simethicone will not hurt your bunny. So if I were to just give it to Nora right now, it's not going to hurt her.
No.
And let's take our syringe.
And this is a 1 cc syringe, and you want to give your bunny 1 cc of the baby gas drops.
1 cc is the same as 1 milliliter.
Yeah, if I can get it
Oh.
open here, when they say childproof,
Oh,
they mean childproof. Here we go.
So we've shut that up, and we're gonna draw up 1 cc,
And I'm gonna push
or
this
1
back.
milliliter. And I've never had a bunny object to taking the simethicone or aspirin. And usually they're not feeling bad. I mean, they're not feeling good anyway, so they're pretty pliable.
They're not gonna give you too much grief.
No, they're not gonna fight you. Now, we don't want to gag her, obviously. So we're gonna put the tip of this syringe in the side of Nora's mouth. And can you see here? Do you think they?
No, they can see you. See
Very
right here?
good,
They
very
can
good.
see everything you're doing.
So, bunnies have an opening between their incisors, which are their very front teeth, and their molars. So we can find that opening. Nora, I'm gonna.
Well,
This is
she's
good, little
saying
Nora.
she's being camera shy and she doesn't want to cooperate because she's on camera.
You think that's it, Bobbie?
I know that's it.
Okay, so
Well, you know
we're
what
gonna
you can
practice on me.
Oh,
And so
well, I
that's
could
what
show.
No, well, we can actually do it on Nora.
Yeah,
Because
that's what I
it
was
is
gonna.
The, right.
Well, for me,
This is
just
what we
like
do.
Pat's doing, she would hold the bunny, and then the volunteer would come up
And the
and
side.
just put it in the side like that. Give her a little bit, and then she's kind of fussing, so we
Sure.
might do it a different way.
Right, okay, so there's all kinds of
She's
different
saying,
ways. So you got all three of us doing stuff
Well,
here.
she's just
Okay,
saying, I'm
just
camera
gonna
shy,
step
leave me
right in
alone.
here. Now, if you've got a towel on there, they like traction, they do not like to be sliding. I like to
True.
have the bunny facing forward. I get my body down behind the bunny. I put a V over the nose, and all I have to do is lift that little lip on the side, and I hold mine like this, so I'm pushing with my palm. And guess what? She can't go forward, she can't go backward, and I've got her little lip lifted, and there we are.
That's how I
Well,
like to
very
do.
good.
That's how I like to do
Yes,
it.
yep.
Yeah, if you have a bunny that don't like taking medicine, as I do, you learn. You learn different ways to get them to cooperate, and that's the best way for an uncooperative bunny.
And then we're gonna move on to the second thing we're gonna give Nora, which is, we've given her the simethicone, and that is gonna break up the gas bubbles that have filled her tummy. And now the aspirin is going to knock out the pain that she is feeling.
And there's only one kind we recommend, and we're very specific about it being the bare orange chewable aspirin,
Low dose.
the low dose. which-
81
let me-
milligram.
Yes, right here. And that is because it dissolves easy and quick. That is one of the main reasons that we recommend this one.
It's not because we consider it a better product.
No.
It's simply because it dissolves really quickly.
And Pat's gonna show you the best
And-
way to do that.
So I'm gonna draw up, use my same syringe, I'm gonna draw up 1 cc of water. Here's my aspirin. Now, if your bunny weighs less than 5 pounds, you're gonna want to use half of this aspirin. So you're gonna break it in half. For a bunny that weighs 5 pounds or more, you're gonna use the whole aspirin. So I will add my 1 cc.
Now, there's a couple ways you can dissolve this. Pat's using the 1 cc syringe and dissolving it in water this way. You can take a little bigger syringe and break it into a couple pieces, put it in the top of the syringe, put the syringe back in it, and then pull up some water and then shake it and dissolve it that way.
Yeah, right inside the syringe.
Yes. I learned that trick solely because I had a sick dog that had a ton of pills he had to take, wouldn't take them. I got out syringes, put the pills in, a few in each syringe, pulled it up, set it down, let it dissolve, kept shaking it, and then I had to give all the medication that way. And that's how I discovered that was the easiest way to do it, with a little bit of warm water, lukewarm water. It dissolved that quick.
So my aspirin is, because it is the bare, it is dissolving pretty quick, so I can now draw it up in my syringe. And I'm not gonna give Nora the aspirin.
No.
But this is the same way
The same.
same way we would do it. We'd pull this up and we would give her, and you wanna, again, the side of the mouth, because you don't want to, obviously, you do not want it shooting straight down her windpipe, right? So you
It
can
could choke her.
go in the side.
You always want to go in the side with everything so you don't choke them.
And they've got teeth in that front, and believe me, they're gonna use them to try to not get that in their mouth.
Which is, yeah. You will learn as you learn how to do this, that the right ways and what works best for you. Everyone's different, but that's just what we do.
So to recap, the important things, the crucial things that you must have on hand is a 1 cc syringe, and I suppose you could go to Walgreens or whatever, and you could ask the pharmacist to even just give you or
Yeah.
sell you a couple of them.
And the tip is,
And-
you want not the screw-on tip, but you want the feeding tip is what they call.
Yeah.
So it's got a little tip on it, easier to get in their mouth.
And you want your baby aspirin, the Bear 81 milligram, low dose, orange flavored, chewable Bear aspirin. And this little box has 3 of these little containers in. That's what I get at Walmart. So we have the gas drops, your baby aspirin, and a syringe, and the heating pad. So you need those 4 items. And typically, your bunny will start eating in an hour and a half, but be sure to leave enough time so that you can still get the bunny to the vet and get in to see the vet if this protocol does not work and get that bunny eating.
Yeah, my rule of thumb is when I have a bunny that doesn't eat, I do all of this, I give it 2 hours. If it's not better in 2 hours, I'm on my way to the vet. Instantly.
You know, on nights and weekends, this emergency kit, I can't tell you how many bunnies whose lives have been saved
Yes.
because of people have the emergency kit.
And I would like to show these. Pat has made these wonderful
yeah.
instructions.
Yeah.
And this, I can tell you, Pat has gotten phone calls from Canada. In the middle of the night, a lady from Canada, and I will tell this story because I was just so shocked, but Pat gets phone calls from all over the United States and out of the United States. I don't know how they get her phone number, but she's a pro at this, and I guess that's why they find her somehow. But the lady called from Canada. Her bunny wasn't eating. It was like the nearest vet that did bunnies was 3 hours away. Of course, they weren't open till the next morning. So Pat told her what to get at Walgreens and also told her what greens to get. And the lady hung up, went and purchased all the items, called Pat back. Pat spent 2 hours on the phone with this lady in the middle of the night, and the bunny started snapping out of it, did great, and by the morning, the bunny was completely eating, and the lady had called Pat back and was sobbing because she helped her save her bunny's life. Had Pat not taught her how to do all these things, I don't know that the bunny would have made it till the morning and a 3-hour trip to the vet. And that's the story I tell everyone about how important it is to act as quick as you need to and do these things. Yeah, because
Right, stabilizing that bunny, like I said,
it's,
there's so many things that can go on. For example, maybe they're getting, say, a little bit of a molar spur or something. So they quit eating because they're uncomfortable. What happens is that nature hates a void, so now there's going to be gas building up in the empty spots in that intestinal tract. That starts to hurt. Now the bunny really doesn't want to eat, and now it's starting to, because it's in a bad shape, it's the body's temperature is going down, because it's going into shock. So that's likely what's going to end up harming the bunny. You know, if the bunny doesn't get treated, is the bunny's going to slide right into shock and can literally then, pass away that way. So getting that bunny stabilized, is something to get going. It doesn't completely, replicate a veterinary appointment. You really need that because if, like I said, what was the root cause of that? So if your bunny's bouncing around and eating a ton, well, maybe you don't need to take your bunny into the vet. But if your bunny's still not real thrilled about eating, get your bunny into the vet. You need to find out what the root cause of that bunny not wanting to eat is.
yeah, you got to know. You got to know your bunny well. And for the people just tuning in, we are talking about emergency kits for your bunnies and why you need to have the emergency kits and what comes in them. And you can rewatch this from the beginning, so in case you missed anything, Some of the questions right now are, what are we treating the bunny for? And right now it's gut stasis. And that's what we're assuming the bunny would have, and that's what we're doing it for. If it is,
More gut stasis with gas.
yes,
Because like I said, we'll reiterate, if that bunny's tummy is rock hard,
you take it to the
you
vet.
take it to the vet, because you could be doing harm.
Or if you
It
just
could be a
notice,
blockage.
or if you just notice anything weird too, if it's leaking something or it's peeing blood, those kind of things, it's a vet visit right away. But in our emergency kit, you also get all the instructions. So you get this, you get the plastic container, you get the baby gas drops, the aspirin, the thermometer, you get some jellies to help take the temperature, you get a syringe.
A feeding syringe.
Yeah, it's a feeding syringe in case you would ever have to force feed your bunny. And then you get the 1 cc syringe for the baby gas drops and the baby aspirin. You can always add to that kit on other things if you wanted, but that's usually what we do. Let me see what other questions. I'm really excited, which I know my face showed it when I was reading it, because we have someone watching from South America in Chile tonight.
Ooh.
I want to thank you for tuning in. That's super exciting that you're watching us all the way from Chile.
Chile.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Let me see what we got here. We already talked about, it's an infant soft tip thermometer that we're using. We already told you what we're treating for, which is gut stasis.
Also,
Oh.
other items you have in there, you have a couple of other items in that, Pat, in that emergency kit,
Well, we talked about the thermometer.
right? What about
The feeding,
nope, well, we
The
got the
liver?
feeding tip, the baby powder.
I think we don't include this in our emergency kit, but this is a good thing to have. It's our pure cornstarch baby powder, but you could go into your pantry, you probably have cornstarch, and you can use that too. If a bunny snags his nail on something, catches it on something and rips it, and you're gonna have a lot of blood, the cornstarch is good. Just pack on the cornstarch and it will stop the bleeding. So I have one of these on hand all the time. One thing I wanted to mention was a person, we have names on our, and you're gonna tell them how to get this. This is the 2-page. So it explains what you'll need in your emergency kit if you make your own. And then the 2nd page is the instructions, how to give the baby aspirin, how to give the simethicone. And we also have, a few of us are on the bottom with our names. So I understand that people panic, and so they can call us day or night when their bunny won't eat, and they can call us and we'll stay on the phone and we'll talk it through with them. And I think that really makes people a lot more comfortable, so don't hesitate to call. I like people to call and say, I just noticed that my bunny did not eat this. I shudder when people call and they say, my bunny hasn't been eating for a couple of days. I don't like to hear that, because it is so much, it takes longer to pull them out of that
And
situation.
sometimes
If they can.
yeah,
If they can.
sometimes they don't come out of
True.
it.
But it's so much easier if you do the 2 treats a day like I do. And I notice that first thing in the morning, and it just happens, and it's so easier to fix that way than if it's been a couple of days.
Sue is asking about, I said you had told the lady to pick up greens for the bunny. Well, that is green lettuce. Usually when they're sick, we always tell people parsley. A
Cilantro.
trick I learned with parsley though, when you're trying to get your bunny to eat and you know it is gut stasis, if you take the stem first and you just kind of poke at their mouth, they kind of get mad and they'll rip it out of your hand and start eating it. That's okay. That's like what you want them to do. But that's why I get parsley, cilantro. I get curly parsley.
The flat leaf.
Yeah,
That's
Kale,
good. I
no.
get greens too.
yeah. But
For-
that's what we were talking about as far as Pat telling her to get greens to help encourage the bunny to eat. And also another trick I do is I soak them in water so they got a lot of water in them. So when they start eating them, they're getting the fluid in from the greens. That helps.
Now, if you take your bunny, your bunny's not eating, and you take the bunny to the vet is going to be able to do things that I can't do at home
Correct.
with my little kit. The vet is going to give fluids, which I think is major help, isn't it?
It is.
Once
they
fluids,
rehydrate their stuff that's causing them the problem. It just rehydrates them. It's like a miracle thing.
and she has heavy duty pain medicine.
Got motility drugs.
True. I took Mr. Dusty. He did not pop out of his problem with this protocol. So we were off to the vet, and she did the fluids and the motility drugs and the heavy duty pain medicine. So by the time I got Mr. Dusty home, he dived right into his greens.
Yeah, which is good.
It
And
is good.
When you're at the vet, if that vet palpates the abdomen, say it's not the teeth or what have you, and the bunny flinches and the veterinarian recommends x-rays, you really, really need to do those x-rays. I just tell people, if you can't afford to do an x-ray, you probably shouldn't have a bunny, because that's going to be a very common issue, with them. And you cannot ask the vet to guess what's going on inside that body. Okay. When I do an orientation on bunny care behavior, I have a whole lot of photos of x-rays, and one shows gas, and one shows bladder sludge, one shows a bladder stone. Okay. There's all different things that could be happening there. So you could have a true blockage. You could have, just the gas, which causes them to stop eating, okay? And of course, if they're not pooping, that's a real big sign that it is a blockage, and you really do need, again, to get them to the vet right away. But all of these different things. So what the veterinarian needs to do for treatment depends on what's causing it.
Right.
So you're going to treat bladder sludge completely different than a gas bubble or from a bladder stone. So all of these things, and you just have to be prepared for this so that your bunny can get the proper treatment as quickly as possible.
We have another question. Sarah says, I normally give baby gas drops and Medicam. Is the baby aspirin the same as Medicam? And I have a few other people asking the same thing. They have Medicam on hand, so when their bunny goes and doesn't eat, their protocol is baby gas drops and Medicam.
Okay.
So there is a difference.
There is a big difference, and this is a legal difference. Okay, we can include baby aspirin in our kit because it is an over-the-counter drug. Medicam is a prescription drug, meloxicam, whatever the generic form meaning.
So we could not put it in ours.
And we cannot prescribe it.
Right.
Okay.
But you as
Well, we can't even say that legally.
no,
all
but
right?
I was telling them the difference is
Yes.
the baby aspirin is safe for them, and the Medicam, if they're dehydrated, will actually hurt them.
It
So
can blow out their kidneys, I think.
yes, and
So I think it's definitely a risk. And
If-
I have Medicam at home,
And-
but I use aspirin.
yeah, as I also, but
I'm-
since you don't know how much your bunny's drinking, so you don't really know if they're dehydrated, the safe thing to use is the baby aspirin.
Yes. And if they're not eating, which they're not, they're not drinking. So,
Correct.
So they are dehydrated. So
Yeah,
I
so
prefer the aspirin.
our suggestion would be not to use Medicam, to go with the baby aspirin to be on the safe side. And then if you do have to take your bunny to the vet, of course, she'll tell you if you can use the baby or the Medicam or not. But as a rule of thumb for all of us, we use the baby aspirin, just because we don't know if the bunny's dehydrated or not.
Another key is that if the bunny has been given a particular drug, they might not be able to get something more efficacious for them. So we want to make sure that, once they get to the veterinarian has all options for that bunny.
Bobbie, do you want to tell people where they can go to?
I do. First, I'd like to tell you, Pat, that you must be popular because everyone is saying hi to Pat.
Oh, hi everyone.
Let me see. Cool that with the baby aspirin is that every 24 hours. You usually only give one dose because if they're not better after that one dose, you're getting a vet visit. So you should only give it once.
Simethicone, as I say, it doesn't hurt. So our instructions say you can give more simethicone, I think, once an hour
Yep.
for 3 doses. Then you can give a dose every 3 to 8 hours. So you can give simethicone every hour for 3 doses.
So if you are not in our area and you want to get your hands on this great information, if you go to the top of our Facebook page, it'll say about and have other things there. You'll see a thing that says guide. Click on the guide and it is going to bring up several things under there, and one of them is this. And you can click on it and it's going to give you all this information right here. You can print it out, have it on hand, put it in your emergency kit. But ultimately, I would definitely make sure that you have this near you in case of an emergency and you can get to it. But it is on our Facebook page. Just go to the guide, click on it, scroll down. It's towards the bottom and you will find the great instructions on what to do.
One thing, if you're a bunny, you know that your bunny has kidney problems, you don't want to give the aspirin. The instructions are do not give aspirin to a bunny with below normal kidney function. It's not a good thing. Just so
Okay.
you know that.
I just got something from Kim. She said my daughter had her pair of 6-month-old bunnies, and one died this afternoon after getting spayed on Friday. Any advice on how to help the other bunny the surviving bunny? So were they both spays? Kim, were they spayed? Were they neutered? Was it a boy and a girl?
2 girls.
Yeah, 2 girls. What can you give me on that information for me to give you some advice?
And
And
she's
what
waiting for
area
that.
are you in? Tell me where you live, so I know if there is a rabbit savvy vet near you that I can send you to or whatever I need to do. So give me that information. Oh, both were spayed.
Okay, were they together at the time the one passed?
Okay, let me know if they were together when they passed, and also let me know what area you're from. And while we're waiting, we can, Amanda Brown said we bought the bunny emergency kit from us when they adopted their bunny. She said they haven't had to use it yet, thank goodness, but they're so glad to have it on hand. Kim said they're 2 girls, sisters, both spayed, and they're in Springfield. Is it Springfield, Missouri, or Illinois? And they were together when the one passed.
Okay, the reason I asked for that while she's waiting for the other information is that if they are together when one passes, the other one does know that their partner is gone. This is a sad, sad situation, but when, say, you have a pair of bunnies and one is ill enough that it really is the kindest thing to do to have them euthanized, you should take the other bunny along because the other bunny needs to know that his partner is gone. They actually need to be just kind of like when we have a funeral and it's that closure, they need that closure. Otherwise, if that ill bunny is simply taken away, the one left at home keeps waiting for his partner to come back. And they just seem to never get past that. They're always waiting for that partner to come back. And that's even sadder. Yes.
That is
Yeah,
sad.
and
And
So
that's,
it's sad to know that, I mean, and it's really sad to watch them because a lot of times they'll stay together even after with the body, okay? And it usually takes somewhere between 10, 20 minutes. And generally the bunny then will move away from the body. It's kind of like their signal that I recognize, I acknowledge my partner's gone.
And I believe that's what this pair did because she said that Ethel was laying on top of Flora when my daughter realized that Flora didn't seem to be breathing.
Yes.
It makes me tear up and cry because I think it's so sad.
she's asking for what
Well,
we
more
could
instructions,
suggest to
but-
get
Yeah.
over it.
But was it Illinois or Missouri?
It was Mrs. Springfield, Missouri, and we do have a rabbit savvy vet in your area. If you message me privately on Messenger on Facebook, I can talk to you more and give you their information. But again, on our new tab, which is the guide, if you click on that guide, the very first one is all the vets that we
We're aware of,
recommend.
Yeah.
Right, that we are aware of. They're all listed on there with their phone numbers, their addresses, and where they're at. So in Springfield, Missouri, there is a rabbit savvy vet. You can look, like I said, go to the guide, go down to the tab, and it's the first one, and you can see all the vets in the area, in your area that you can take your bunny to. Let me go back to Kim. She says the one at home keeps thumping and looking for her. You could give her a stuffed animal and see if that will help her, giving her extra love and attention, and just spending a lot of time with her will help. It takes them a while to grieve and get over the passing. No different than us.
You may at one point in time think about getting another bondmate for her, but generally speaking, you want to wait at least 2-3 weeks. They do need to grieve,
Yes.
but they need your attention, like Bobbie said.
Yeah, I always give them extra attention and just extra TLC. Give them just more time to run and play and some extra love. Do you have anything to add? It's pretty.
Well, I had that same experience with my very first pair, Clover and Blackie. And Clover, we had to take Clover to the vet on an emergency visit, and I didn't know. So Bill and I took Clover, headed to the vet. She died on the way to the vet. It did not occur to me to bring Clover's body back to be with Blackie so he would know. It never occurred to me. And when Joy pointed that out, I felt so guilty about that because poor Blackie, he didn't know why Clover had disappeared. And he didn't get over that for a very long time. He was angry. What happened to her? Why did she leave? He was angry. It was hard. It was very hard. And then I brought him over to the shelter to meet a new bondmate possibly. And Blackie was not interested in meeting any of them because he wasn't ready. He was still grieving Clover. So it was more months before he was ready to accept a bondmate.
So that's another sad thing we bring up. And it's not always sad, but if you have a bonded pair and they need to go to the veterinarian, actually if you're going for an exam, you're taking both of them along because they both need to go. But a lot of people think, okay, only the sick one needs to go. Take them both, okay? And it has nothing to do with the other bunny needing to be treated. The other bunny doesn't even need to get an exam. The idea is that you're trying to not break the bond. So if the ill bunny goes to the veterinarian, gets treated, comes back smelling that the veterinary clinic, okay, rabbits rely tremendously on their noses, not their eyes. So now this bunny smells funny. It's like, who are you? And they attack. And the other bunny's going, well, what are you doing that for? And they attack because it's like, I'm not taking this from you. And all of a sudden, you have a rolling ball of fur and a broken bond. Keep them together. They go to the vet, they smell the same, they come back. Okay.
My cats do that. I have to do both of the cats at the same time because if I take one and not the other and then I bring it home, it's a cat fight. Let's just put it that way. It takes a couple days and they get over it, but yeah, it's the same.
Keep them together. They always travel together. And you should have a carrier large enough that they travel together in the same carrier. Okay, that's another big issue. Doesn't do them any good to be separated. And because the car ride is scary for them. So now they can cuddle together, okay? And always make sure that you have a folded towel in there and not just a little dish towel, okay? You need a folded bath towel or something in there because they do not like sliding around. That really scares them. And they don't have paw pads or like the cats or the dogs that kind of stick to the plastic. No, they're sliding around there on those furry paws. And then if they pee, now they got that all over them. So you really need to make sure you have a nice folded towel, in that carrier with them. Okay.
Yeah. Rule of thumb is if you have a pair, you keep them together no matter what. And Kim, if you have any more questions, if you need any more help, please message us on Facebook. We answer everything right back. Just let them, when you do message us, let me know that you are the same lady that talked to us on our show, so we know that we've already spoke and we'll help you in any way that we can. Again, if your second bunny is not getting better, it's not eating, you're seeing any signs, of anything, try to take them to your rabbit savvy vet in your area and let them know that they got spayed and you just want to check up, and hopefully they can take care of everything for you.
And one thing I'll just reiterate in conclusion is that many of you don't live close to our shelter, but you'll just need to get 4 things for your emergency kit, and that is a 1 milliliter, same as 1 cc syringe, infant gas drops, which is simethicone, and 81 milligram low dose Bayer orange flavored aspirin.
And a heating pad
And
or of
heating
some
pad.
sort.
Some sort of a heating pad. And when I do this, I put it in my lap. I don't use the table. I put a towel on my lap. I put the heating pad on the towel. I put another towel on the heating pad, and I hold my bunny, and I'm feeling to make sure it's not getting too hot. And I hold my bunny, and if the bunny, of course, doesn't want the heat, I let him go.
Yeah.
Don't force him to stay on it.
So, tips on aftercare after a spay. My suggestion is pain medicine is the #1 thing. If they're in pain, they won't eat and they don't want to get better. So pain medicine is #1. #2, we usually use a soft litter in their litter box. Because a spay is like us getting a hysterectomy. And I've had one, it is horrible. And if I didn't have pain meds, I'd never make it through it. The first day or 2 is really uncomfortable. You want to spoil them. Again, pain medication, greens. Really that's it.
Yes.
They just kind of want to be left alone and, just kind of
What
get through
about-
that first day or 2.
There are quite a few vets that don't send you home with pain medicine.
And you have to be your bunny's voice. When you go in, you ask questions. I always say, what is your protocol on spaying or neutering? What pain meds do you give? How long do you give? For us at the shelter, we give 6 days?
5.
5 days for a spay on pain medication.
Morning and night.
Yes, twice a day for 5 days.
And it's Medicam, or the generic name, Meloxicam.
Yes, and some bunnies can't tolerate pain, so they will have to have a stronger pain medication other than Medicam. I had a bunny that could not take Medicam. It just could not take pain whatsoever, and it had to have something stronger to get over everything. So
I, I think that you, the customer, has to demand
yes,
pain medicine to take home with you. A boy, we do 3 days. A girl, we do 5 days.
yes.
And we do morning and night. That's what we dose.
And that's what the normal protocol is from our bunny vet. They do Medicam twice a day. Some vets give 1 dose when they leave and nothing else. Don't take
And
it.
they don't give you anything to take home.
Yeah, so you want to tell them, I would like Medicam for my bunny for twice a day for 5 days for your spay female, 3 days for your neutered male, and they're gonna want to make you happy, so they're gonna do it. If they don't do it, don't go there, because they're not a bunny
No.
savvy vet.
And my experience is, I've already had people who've told me that their bunnies, when they did pain medicine, their bunnies would be irritating. So they would be working at that incision.
They do.
And a boy bunny, actually removed his incision, and the person had to take the bunny back for another procedure. So you don't want the bunny to be fooling around.
We've
with
had
that
that at our shelter. When they first come back, or no, what was it? The one ripped her stitches out of her stomach. And that was awful, because I think I was the one that found her, and then she had to go right back and get restitched. It's awful, but they do. If they're in pain at all, they will mess with those stitches and rip them out. It's awful. Tips on giving them the Medicam. So if you watch our video, you will see us giving an example on how to medicate the bunny. So just go back, watch it, and you'll see how we bend over the bunny, lift the lip up, and give the medicine. If you're looking for the videos, if you go on our page on the left-hand side, scroll down towards the bottom, and you'll see a little paragraph that says series. If you click on series, it'll have all of the shows on there that you can rewatch, and you can rewatch this one, and we did that so you guys can always go back to these shows if you need to get any information.
And when I have to give Medicam, I just use my 1 cc syringe,
Yep.
draw it up, and just like I do with giving the bunny the simethicone, I go into the side of the bunny's mouth. Not the front, because we don't want to gag the bunny. We want to go into the side of the bunny's mouth. And Medicam, I found most of my bunnies like Medicam.
A lot of bunnies will just come up and suck it out of the syringe, but again, I had a stinky bunny that didn't like taking medicine, so you gotta do the bend over, push its butt against your chest, and go to the side and give it. But we will do later, as our shows go on and we do different things, we will do a show on giving medicine, taking temperatures. So all that is coming in the future, so you just have to keep watching. And we will post what we're, going to talk about for that night. But yeah, all that will come in the future.
Do we have
But-
any other questions?
I'm looking, and I think we are all caught up. Amanda said thank you for the tip on giving Medicam. I think I've answered everyone's questions. If you have any more, go ahead and post. Like I said, we are here for you guys. I started this because I wanted to help everyone that had bunnies, because owning a bunny is scary. It's not like a cat and a dog, because you can just take a cat and a dog to any vet and get treated. Bunnies are special. You can't do that. They're delicate, and I just wanted everyone to have a resource to go to for bunny information. So don't hesitate to message us on Facebook, on Messenger, and ask your question. Don't hesitate to call us. You can get the information off the guide. Again, the guide is at the top of our page, where the home button is. If you go 2 over, it is the guide, push guide, and it'll come up with the different titles, and it will come up with this title on there, and mine and Pat's number are on the back page. Also, Joy's number's on there. Our personal numbers that you can get a hold of us in case you have an emergency. We're more than happy to help you. Like I said, that's one of the main reasons I started this, is because I wanted to help owners and their bunnies. So we're here for you. So just take advantage of us and use us for your information and all the help you need with your bunnies. Margaret says, you all are the best. I learned so much from watching your videos. I adopted, where'd it go? Cleopatra, is that what that says?
Cleopatra?
Or Ben. Oh, it was Ben from us. She says, thank you so much for everything you do. And we love hearing that, Margaret. Thank you so much. We all do work really hard. We have such a great team of volunteers that come every day, and we work really, really hard to make sure that the bunnies are well taken care of and they get into great bunny homes. I got one more down here. Let me see. Bob says the dose amount will depend on the bunny's weight. You can wrap a loose towel called the Bunny Burrito. Oh, okay. He's saying if you do have a tough bunny to give medicine to, you can wrap the bunny in a towel like a bunny burrito, hold it up on its side, and then take the syringe between the teeth that way. If you have a stinky bunny and you're on your own, that's always another way, an option. Jeannie wants to know, can you massage the belly a bit side to side for stats? And you can do belly rubs.
I've never done that, but
A lot-
some people do.
Yeah, it's something about when you move the bunny, it helps the gas kind of move around and get through. But massaging it will help move the gas around and help it get through faster. I do massage my bunnies' bellies, and I had a bunny that just wasn't pulling through and wasn't gonna make it, and I put her up on my side and kind of, with her legs pointing down, and I was just kind of moving myself side to side and rubbing her belly, and all of a sudden all this poop fell out and she was perfectly fine. She just needed that extra belly motion, and she
Do you
ended up
wanna-
surviving.
Do you want to show us with Nora how you did that?
Well, I don't.
Or for another time?
Yeah, I think for another time.
Another time.
Yeah, we're 8:30 and
Okay.
we are past our time, so we're gonna have to get off here. Do bunnies pass gas? Yes, they do pass gas. They can't puke and they can't burp. Them are the two things they can't do, but they definitely can pass gas. That's for sure. Are these preventatives for rabbits from getting ringworm? No, that does not prevent them from any of that. Those parasites, nope. That's for a totally different subject. This is just for gut stasis and stats. But you can message me private on Facebook Messenger, and I can let you know what kind of medication that you would get for that. I believe that one is over the counter for the ringworms. Correct?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure, but
I've never had
message me and I will double check and let you know. But we are at 8:30 and we need to say goodbye until next week. I want to thank Pat for joining me. If any of you know me and Pat and I have been best friends for 20 years, and we've both been coming. She's been 21, I'm 20 years in here. Pat and I both live in Illinois, and we have worked side by side together since day one. We can actually finish each other's sentences.
It was Bunnies that brought us together.
It was Bunnies. We lived down the street from each other for years and never knew each other, and we started doing Bunnies and discovered we were just like a mile apart in the same town.
Mm-hmm.
It was destiny. So thank you for watching. Again, like and follow our Facebook page. Help me out here, and I will see all of you next Tuesday at 7:30. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.